In the Money, a book about banking by Nancy Lowen, illustrated by Brad Fitzpatrick. Good morning. Time to get up, Mom said. I don't have to go to school today, David said. It's Take Your Child to Work Day. You're going to show me what you do as a loan officer at the bank. That's right, Mom replied. There's a lot to see at the bank, so get moving. How long have banks been around? Did you have banks when you were a kid? David asked his mom. I'm not that old, she said with a laugh. Banks have been around for hundreds of years. The very first banks were in ancient Mesopotamia. People used grain as money. Temples and palaces offered people safe places to store it. In 1781, the first official bank in the United States opened in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. When they got to the bank, Mom showed David around. The bank had just opened and a lot of people were working. Employees were typing at computers or talking on the phone, sometimes both at the same time. Others were sorting through stacks of paper. In the lobby, a couple of people were loading cash into the automatic teller machine, or ATM. Banks come in all sizes. Some bank buildings cover an entire block. Others are small offices within grocery stores. Do you want to watch the tellers? Mom asked. What's a teller? Asked David. Are they like storytellers? Tellers are the people who help the customers, Mom answered. But sometimes we like to tell stories too, a young woman said with a smile. Hi, David. I'm Holly. Could you show David his savings account? Mom asked Holly. Here's his account number. No problem, said Holly. She typed the number into the computer. Bank accounts of all kinds are identified by a long number. No two account numbers are alike. On the computer screen, David could see the deposits and withdrawals he had made. He also saw a small deposit that he didn't remember making. Where did that money come from? He asked. That's the interest you earned on your account, Holly replied. Interest is what the bank pays people to keep their money here. When people borrow money, they pay interest to the bank, Mom added. Those are the two main jobs of a bank, to be a safe place for people to keep their money and to lend money to people for big purchases. The interest that a bank pays out is always less than the amount of interest it charges for loans. That's how banks make a profit. David sat on a stool and watched as Holly took cash and checks from customers and put them into a drawer. For every transaction, she printed out a receipt and gave it to the customer. One man cashed a check for $200. Holly counted out $20 bills so fast her fingers were a blur. Wow, you could be a magician, David exclaimed. A check is like a letter to the bank from another bank. It tells the bank to give money to whomever is named on the check. A woman came in with a badly torn $10 bill. Holly took the bill and gave her a crisp new one. What happens to that old money? David asked. The bank sends old bills to a special bank called the Federal Reserve Bank. The damaged bills and coins are destroyed, and we get new ones, Holly said. There are 12 Federal Reserve Banks in the United States. Each one serves a different area. These banks are kind of like banks for banks. Even the government uses these banks. Federal Reserve Banks are located in these cities: Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Richmond, Atlanta, Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Kansas City, Dallas, and San Francisco. Next, Mom showed David the bank's vault and the room with the safe deposit boxes. The bank keeps its money in the vault, Mom said. The vault is totally safe. It's even fireproof. See those boxes over there? Those are safe deposit boxes. People rent the boxes to store valuable things like jewelry or legal papers, Mom told David. A safe deposit box is very private and secure. No one can open the box without the renter's permission. Next, Mom had an appointment with a man who wanted to borrow money to buy a new car. David watched while his mom looked over the loan application papers and asked a few questions. Everything looks good, she said. You should be getting your loan in a few days. Great, he said. After the man left, David asked, why do people need loans? Well, most people don't have enough money to buy expensive things like cars and houses, his mom said. Sometimes people need money to send their kids to college or to start a business. Before making loans, banks look over a person's financial history. This includes how much money the person earns, how much debt the person has, how much the person owns, and if the person pays bills on time. I bet I know what you like the most about your job, David said. What? Mom asked. Seeing how happy people are when you tell them they're going to get the money they need, David said. You're right, Mom said with a grin. Want to know my next favorite thing? It's the cookies in the break room. Let's go.